If I had to pick a logline for this video, it would be How the Grinch Stole Christmas 2000 is a great Christmas movie if you don't have a bitch in your ear telling you that it's not. Yesterday, I talked about the legendary How the Grinch Stole Christmas special from 1966, and today I want to cover a movie that's coming up, actually just passed, actually it's been over a month. Its 25th anniversary, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the 2000 version! Yay!
The Grinch.
Oh, somebody's fabulous!
34 years later, after that 1966 holiday special, Ron Howard comes up with an insane idea for a live-action reboot of the original story, and it works, haters! I'm preaching to the choir right now. I'm preaching to the choir. I'm just saying, at the time, it was pretty ripped apart.
The movie is eerie and weird, and the Grinch is more likely to scare little kids than to charm them. In Dr. Seuss's drawings, the story seems strange but cheerful. The movie plays more like a horror picture.
Kids today, so desensitized by movies and television.
This was the highest grossing Christmas movie at the time since Home Alone. It spent 4 weeks at #1 in the US and was a huge box office hit. It was also one of the most controversial holiday films at the time. Not only was it an adaptation of the classic children's book, but it was also an adaptation of that 1966 special. Dr. Seuss, or Theodore Geisel, and his wife Audrey Geisel had been approached so many times about making a live-action version of his famous stories, particularly The Grinch. But the Seusses were really unhappy with the live-action efforts of his works, particularly because a movie called Dr. T and the 5,000 Fingers of Dr. T, which looks sick as hell, did not live up to the previous expectations, so they just turned everything down. However, after Dr. Seuss's unfortunate passing in, I want to say, 1991, Audrey was in control of his rights and after a while, finally relented and said sure. There were a lot of expectations going into this movie, from the creatives and from the audiences. So there was no way that they were going to make a movie that everybody was going to enjoy. And I can promise you, they did not make a movie everyone was going to enjoy. Audiences didn't like the adult humor, they didn't like the creepy and oftentimes scary tone that the movie took. It wasn't the perfect adaptation that everybody was hoping for. However, if you're a kid in the early 2000s, like me, you're not really going into movies expecting perfection. You're kind of going into movies being like, yes. This movie was colorful, iconic, wondrous, spooky at times, cheery, festive. It was really exciting. If you were like me and were a kid in the early 2000s growing up, How the Grinch Stole Christmas rocked. Having been released on November 17th, 2000, Universal Studios decided to re-release the movie back in theaters for its 25th anniversary. And of course, I had to take this opportunity because Zootopia 2 was at the wrong time.
Inside a snowflake. Way up in the mountains, in the high range of Pontoos, lay the small town of Whoville, the home of the Whos.
Right off the bat, we have to acknowledge the GOAT, Ron Howard. He is a creative genius. I love him from Arrested Development and some of his other movies. But in this case, my God. Even though this movie's been out for so long, even though there's been so many conversations about this movie, I don't think enough can be said about how incredible the sets, the props, the makeup, the performances, everything. There is so much creativity in this movie. It's honestly, it's envy-inducing. While this world is a lot less colorful than the original story, I think it makes things look and feel more realistic while still maintaining the Seussian artistry of it all. At the time, there had been no other movie that featured so many characters in heavy makeup and costumes since The Wizard of Oz. No other movie has made me want to eat glass more. The atmosphere in this movie, whether it be chilling or festive and warm, it accomplishes it tenfold. Another thing I really appreciate about this movie, they kind of make the Grinch scary.
What happened to you?
It was too Grinch!
I think it's really cool that they make the Grinch the unofficial mascot of Christmas horror, even though he's not like a movie monster, but like on paper he technically is. I think that's really cool to play with, and they do play with that at the beginning of this movie. And none of this movie would be iconic without its star performer.
Time with the Grinch.
I guess I could use a little social interaction.
What more can be said about Jim Carrey in this role and out of the role? Critically, affectionately, he's perfect. Jim Carrey was suggested for the title role by Audrey Geisel, the widow of Dr. Seuss, who controlled the rights to the book. She also suggested names like Jack Nicholson, Dustin Hoffman, and Robin Williams. Very interesting depiction ideas. But you know who's just as great as Jim Carrey in this movie? Christine Baranski.
Daddy! Hi!
She's giving 110% at all times.
Did I have a crush on the Grinch? Well, of course not.
I didn't ask you that.
Upon this rewatch, she was my favorite character in the movie. She's hilarious and she fits the role perfectly. Other great actors in this movie include Jeffrey Tambor and Clint Howard, both Ron Howard regulars. Molly Shannon is the mom, that's a lot of fun. Anthony Hopkins apparently recorded all of his lines in one day to play the narrator. That's fun. Who plays the dad? I want to give him a shout out. Hold on. Bill Irwin. I don't think I've seen much of Bill Irwin's stuff, but he's really great in this. Josh Ryan Evans plays the young version of the Grinch, and he matches Carrie's energy absolutely perfectly. He's an incredible performer.
What a lovely family heirloom.
But the actor that really does deserve all the flowers that she gets is Taylor Momsen, who plays Cindy Lou Who. Cindy Lou is just as great as the Grinch in this movie. They give her a lot of stuff to do. For the first half of the movie, she's basically kind of investigating who the Grinch is, what this rumor is, what kind of person he is, his backstory. And then in the second half of the movie, it's her making sure that the Grinch is having a lovely Christmas, because everyone deserves a lovely Christmas. But to go back to what I was saying earlier, the backstory of the Grinch, that is a really great addition to this story. They really do find creative and brilliant ways to stretch the original story enough so that audiences can feasibly sit down for an hour and a half and watch something that was only like 16 minutes. But this backstory for the Grinch and why he hates Christmas, it makes him really sympathetic, and I think that's a really interesting idea to play with, because they could have easily just made the Grinch, you know, a grouch. He doesn't have to like Christmas, he hates Christmas, he doesn't like people, you know, kind of dancing around him. Here, they give him enough of a reason that we might become a Grinch too. They really do a great job making sure that the Grinch is a mean, green, Christmas-hating machine, and that he's very intimidating, versus the 2018 Grinch movie by Illumination, which I don't hate, but they do just kind of make the Grinch depressed. Another really strong aspect about this movie is the great music, whether it be the orchestral original score or the iconic needle drop pieces of music. Honestly, my favorites are the ones that people don't really consider a lot. Christmas is Going to the Dogs and Christmas of Love. And this movie's really funny. And it's not just the crass adult humor, it's also just the regular humor.
Hey, honey! Our baby's here! He looks just like your boss.
Oh. Maybe the adult humor's good too.
Hello, Walter.
Sometimes. Jesus Christ. This is kind of the Wicked for Christmas movies, if you think about it. So if you can't find me, Jesus Christ. And the third act is, of course, the classic Grinch story, where he goes around stealing everybody's Christmas. Oh, you. From stealing Christmas to the Who's coming together to appreciate one another, which they really make work in this because they make it a lot more sentimental rather than they just kind of, oh, we're fine, it's fine. That's not what Christmas is about. It's like they did believe that's what Christmas was about, and now they know it's about being with each other. And then the Grinch hearing it, his heart growing 3 sizes too large. God dang it, this was a great moment. And is it insane if I say that this is one of the most beautiful shots I've ever seen in my life in a movie? And I'm not joking. As a kid, this brought a tear to my eye. As an adult, this also brought a tear to my eye, but that's more indicative of the therapy I need. The live-action version of How the Grinch Stole Christmas is a fun, exciting holiday masterpiece that, in my opinion, should be appreciated for the incredible filmmaking and talent behind the camera. This movie has inspired millions of actors who play the Grinch at Universal Studios. I'm not planning on covering the other Grinch movies and material just yet.
Must be afraid of reprisals.
Anyways, thank you so much for watching this. Be on the lookout for more Christmas videos leading up till Christmas every day. So be excited. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.